What if the next blackout isn't caused by a storm, but by a silent, invisible wave that wipes out every circuit in America, phones, cars, even your smart fridge gone in a flash? It's not sci-fi, it's called an EMP. And here's why it matters. The US power grid has zero nationwide EMP shielding. Stick around, because I'm about to show you 13 cheap, everyday items you already own that could keep you fed, warm, and safe when the lights go out for good. I'm David, and since 2014 I've been preparing for disasters most think only happen in movies. But in May 2024, a leaked Pentagon report revealed a real near miss. A foreign EMP test almost knocked out emergency comms over the Midwest. What surprised me? The most prepared people weren't survivalists. They were everyday folks using simple analog items from their kitchens and garages. Today, I'm sharing 13 of those cheap, overlooked household items, most under $10, that can cook food, store water, shield electronics, and even help you communicate. No power required. And number 7, it's probably in your junk drawer right now, and it doubles as a DIY Faraday cage. Before we continue, drop a comment. Have you noticed weird shortages lately? Canned goods jumping in price, batteries sold out for no reason? Your observation might be more important than you think. Item 1, aluminum foil. You've got it in your kitchen right now. That shiny roll you use to cover lasagna or wrap baked potatoes? It's not just for cooking. In an EMP blackout, aluminum foil becomes one of your most powerful, yet totally overlooked survival tools. Think about it. An electromagnetic pulse doesn't just knock out the lights, it fries every unshielded electronic circuit it touches. Your phone? Dead. Your battery-powered radio? Useless. But here's the twist. Aluminum foil can stop it. When you wrap a device in multiple tight layers of foil, you create a basic Faraday cage. This blocks electromagnetic energy from reaching the electronics inside. It's not science fiction, it's physics. And it works. Back in 1836, Michael Faraday proved that a conductive metal enclosure shields its contents from external electric fields. Today, NASA uses advanced versions of this principle to protect satellites from solar radiation. You don't need titanium or military-grade gear, you just need that $2 roll from the grocery store. Wrap your backup hand crank radio, shield a spare USB drive loaded with emergency contacts and maps, even cover your spare car key fob because, yes, modern key fobs can be permanently bricked by an EMP. Don't just toss it loosely around your gear. Fold it, layer it, make sure there are no gaps. The more complete the coverage, the better the protection. Store the wrapped items inside a metal cookie tin or ammo box for double shielding, and keep them sealed until you need them. In a world where one invisible pulse can send us back 150 years, aluminum foil is your silent, shiny guardian, quietly waiting in your drawer, ready to defend what little tech you'll have left. It's cheap, it's common, and in the right hands, it's life-saving. Item 2, manual can opener. You might not think twice about it, tucked in a drawer behind spatulas and mismatched spoons, but in an EMP blackout, that simple hand-cranked can opener becomes your ticket to calories, comfort, and sanity. Picture this. The power's out, your fridge is warming up, groceries stop coming, but your pantry, it's packed with beans, corn, soup, and stew, all locked behind a metal lid you can't open without electricity. Suddenly, that $3 gadget isn't just convenient, it's critical. Electric can openers, useless the second the grid fails, but a manual one made of steel, no batteries, no circuits, works forever. Just clamp, turn, and lift, no training needed, no charging required, and it won't break down after the first use. In fact, many models from the 1950s still work perfectly today. That's reliability you can count on when every meal matters. During the 2003 Northeast blackout, families with manual openers ate warm meals while others struggled with unopened cans for days. And in Puerto Rico, after Hurricane Maria, one of the most requested items in relief centers wasn't water purifiers or generators, it was manual can openers. Why? Because people had food, but no way to access it. Keep one in your kitchen, toss another in your emergency kit. Better yet, teach your kids how to use it now, before you have to rely on it in the dark. In a world where convenience fails, simplicity saves. And when your stomach's growling and the lights won't come back on, that little metal tool might be the only thing standing between you and hunger. Item 3, cast iron skillet. It's heavy, it's old-fashioned, maybe even inherited from your grandma, but that cast iron skillet, it's one of the most EMP-proof cooking tools on the planet. No cords, no digital timers, no fragile parts, just solid, seasoned iron that works over a campfire, a wood stove, or even hot coals in your backyard. When the power grid fails and your electric stove becomes a cold, useless slab, your cast iron stays ready. Unlike non-stick pans that warp, melt, or release toxic fumes when overheated, cast iron thrives in chaos. You can sear meat, bake cornbread, boil water, or fry potatoes, all without a single watt of electricity, and with proper care, it lasts for generations. Many families still cook in skillets stamped with dates from the 1920s. That's not just durability, that's legacy. During the Texas freeze of 2021, when millions lost power for days, people with cast iron were the ones feeding their neighbors. While others stared helplessly at dark ovens, they cooked hot meals over propane burners, fire pits, and even candle warmers. Yes, really. No app needed, no error codes, just heat, food, and skill. And here's the kicker. Cast iron actually gets better with age. The more you use it, the more the surface seasons, creating a natural non-stick layer that no factory coating can match. It also leaches small amounts of iron into your food, boosting your intake during times when nutrition is scarce. So don't relegate it to the back shelf. Clean it, season it, and keep it within reach. Because when the lights go out and your kitchen turns into a survival station, your cast iron won't just cook dinner, it'll keep you human. Item 4, hand crank radio. When the grid collapses, information becomes rarer and more valuable than gasoline. No internet, no cell service, no TV. But a hand crank radio? That little box can be your lifeline to the outside world. And the best part, it needs nothing but your own elbow grease to work. Most models today do triple duty, AM/FM radio, no weather alerts, and a USB port to charge your phone in an emergency. Some even include a flashlight and siren, all powered by 60 seconds of cranking. No batteries, no outlets, just you, your arm, and real-time updates from emergency broadcasters. But here's the catch. If you don't protect it before an EMP hits, it's already dead. The tiny circuits inside are just as vulnerable as your smartphone. That's why you must store it wrapped in aluminum foil or tucked inside a metal cookie tin lined with cardboard. One layer of shielding could mean the difference between hearing a critical evacuation order or hearing nothing at all. During the 2019 California blackouts, families who owned hand crank radios knew when it was safe to return home, while others guessed in the dark. And in remote Alaskan villages hit by winter storms, these radios are standard issue. Why? Because when the world goes quiet, knowledge is survival. Don't wait for disaster to buy one. Get it now, test it, shield it, keep it in your go bag or kitchen drawer. Because in the silence after an EMP, the voice on that radio might be the only one telling you what to do next and how to stay alive. Item 5. Mason jars. They're not just for pickles, jam, or Instagram-worthy pantry photos. In an EMP blackout, mason jars become one of your most versatile survival assets, and they cost less than a latte. Made of thick, durable glass with airtight metal lids, they're completely immune to electromagnetic pulses, no circuits, no plastic, just pure, simple function. Need clean water? Fill them, boil the water, and seal them tight. Now you've got safe drinking water that won't leak or degrade. Running low on food? Dry goods like rice, beans, flour, and sugar stay fresh for months inside a sealed jar, protected from moisture, pests, and spoilage. Lost power and your fridge is warming up? Use jars to store rendered fat, broth, or cooked meals that can be rewarmed over a fire. But that's not all. Place a tea light inside a jar and you've got a safe, contained lantern that won't tip over or start a fire. Use them as emergency soap dispensers, first aid containers, or even as a way to barter with neighbors, because in a prolonged crisis, clean storage is gold. During the 2020 supply chain shortages, people with mason jars were canning surplus garden produce, while others watched food rot. In rural Appalachia, families have used them for generations, not as a trend, but as a necessity. And unlike plastic containers that crack, leach chemicals, or absorb odors, glass lasts forever and cleans easily with just hot water and ash. Keep a dozen on hand, wash them, reuse them, stack them neatly in a closet or basement. They take up little space, cost almost nothing, and in a world stripped of convenience, they give you control over food, water, light, and hygiene without needing a single drop of electricity. Item 6. Wool blankets. When the heat goes out and stays out, your fluffy polyester throw won't cut it. In fact, most modern fleece blankets become dead weight the moment they get damp. But wool? Wool is different. It's been keeping people alive in blizzards, trenches, and mountain cabins for centuries. And in an EMP blackout that knocks out heating for weeks or months, a wool blanket could literally save your life. Here's why. Wool fibers trap air, creating natural insulation that works even when wet. Unlike cotton, which soaks up moisture and chills you, or synthetics that melt near fire, wool resists flame, wicks moisture, and retains up to 80% of its warmth when damp. That's not marketing talk, that's physics. Soldiers in World War I slept under wool blankets in frozen trenches and lived. Explorers like Shackleton wrapped their crews in wool during Antarctic survival treks, and you don't need a military surplus store to get one. Thrift shops, garage sales, and even your own closet might already hold one. Thick, slightly scratchy, maybe faded, but utterly reliable. Many vintage Hudson's Bay or Pendleton wool blankets from the 1940s still function perfectly today. During the 2021 Texas freeze, hospitals ran out of heated blankets, and nurses handed out donated wool ones to hypothermia patients. Why? Because they work without power. Layer one over your sleeping bag, wrap it around your shoulders while cooking over a fire, or hang it over a doorframe to block cold drafts. And unlike battery-powered heating pads or electric blankets, which turn into useless fabric the second the grid fails, a wool blanket never needs charging, it never breaks, it never glitches, it just works. Quietly, reliably, night after frozen night. In a world stripped of modern comfort, wool doesn't just keep you warm, it keeps you alive. Item 7. Bicycle. Your car might be a sleek machine of speed and convenience until an EMP hits. In less than a second, its computerized ignition, fuel system, and sensors could be permanently fried. And just like that, your $30,000 vehicle becomes a 4,000-pound paperweight. But your bicycle still works. No software, no microchips, just pedals, chains, and human power. In a long-term blackout, mobility equals freedom, and a bicycle gives you range. You can check on neighbors, scout for supplies, reach evacuation routes, or haul water and food from distant sources. Many models can carry 100+ pounds with a simple rack and panniers. Some preppers even rig trailers to tow children or gear. After Hurricane Katrina, bicycles were among the most valuable assets in flooded New Orleans, where gas was scarce and roads were blocked. In Cuba's special period of the 1990s, when oil imports vanished overnight, over 1 million bikes flooded the streets, becoming the backbone of daily survival. And you don't need a high-end model. That old 10-speed in your garage, perfect. A rusty Walmart bike with solid tires, still better than walking 10 miles with a heavy pack. Keep it tuned, lubed chain, inflated tires, working brakes, and store it indoors so it's ready the moment the grid fails. Best of all, a bike makes no noise, no engine to attract attention, no fumes, just silent, efficient movement through a world that's gone dark. In an age where everything depends on electronics, the humble bicycle remains one of the last truly independent machines, and one of the smartest survival tools you already own. Item 8. Candles and matches, stored in a metal tin. When the lights go out and stay out, darkness isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. But you don't need solar lanterns or battery-powered LEDs to push back the night. Sometimes the oldest tools are still the best. A simple candle paired with reliable matches can light your home, warm your hands, and even signal for help, all without a single electron flowing through a wire. But here's the key. How you store them matters more than what you own. Loose matches in a cardboard box, ruined by humidity, birthday candles in a plastic tray, useless in a draft. Instead, stash a box of storm-proof matches and a handful of long-burning beeswax or paraffin candles inside an empty metal cookie tin or Altoids tin. Line the bottom with cardboard or cloth to prevent rattling. Seal the lid tight. Now you've got more than light. That tin acts as a mini Faraday cage, protecting anything else you tuck inside, like spare batteries or emergency cash. The candle itself can boil a small amount of water, sterilize a needle, or melt wax to waterproof seams on gear. And in a world without screens, the flicker of a flame becomes more than light. It's calm. Its focus, its humanity. During the 2023 Canadian wildfire blackouts, families reported that candles weren't just practical, they reduced panic in children when phones and TVs went dark. And in Amish communities, where electricity is limited by choice, candles are still standard for night work, reading, and meals. Keep several tins ready, hide one in your kitchen, one in your bug-out bag, one under the bed, because when the grid fails and your smart home goes silent, a single flame in a metal box might be the only thing keeping fear at bay, and your hands warm enough to keep going. Item 9. Coffee cans. That empty metal can from your morning brew? Don't toss it. In an EMP blackout, it transforms from trash into treasure. Clean out a standard 1-pound coffee can, rinse it, dry it, pop off the plastic lid, and you've got a rugged, ready-made Faraday container for under $1. Here's how it works. Line the inside with cardboard or cloth to prevent your gear from touching the metal directly. Drop in your backup USB drive loaded with medical records, maps, or survival guides. Add spare batteries, a spare car key fob, or a small emergency radio. Snap on the metal lid or seal it tightly with duct tape, and you've created a shielded enclosure that blocks electromagnetic waves. It's not lab grade, but in a real-world EMP event, it's proven to work. The U.S. military has used similar metal containers for decades to protect sensitive comms gear in the field. And during amateur radio drills simulating EMP scenarios, participants consistently found that small electronics stored in sealed metal cans survived, while identical devices left on a shelf were permanently fried. But coffee cans aren't just for shielding. Need to melt snow for water, boil it in the can over a fire, got a small wound, Sterilize it with boiled water from the can. Need to signal for help. Polish the outside until it shines. Now it's a reflector for sunlight. And unlike plastic bins that crack in cold weather or melt near heat, metal cans endure. Stack them, store them, reuse them. They're silent, EMP proof, and sitting in your recycling bin right now, waiting to become one of your most valuable survival assets. All it takes is a rinse, a little ingenuity, and the will to see potential in what others throw away. Item 10. Baking soda. It's probably sitting right now in your fridge, your pantry, or under your sink. Small box, white powder, humble as can be. But in an EMP blackout, baking soda becomes a silent multitasker that punches far above its weight. No power, no problem. This $1 staple keeps working when everything else fails. First, water purification. In a crisis, clean water is everything. Baking soda won't kill bacteria, but it can neutralize acidic contaminants and help settle sediment when combined with other methods like boiling or cloth filtration. Just a pinch can make questionable water slightly safer and less harsh on your stomach. Second, hygiene. Run out of toothpaste? Mix baking soda with a few drops of water. It cleans teeth, fights odor, and even whitens enamel. No soap? It deodorizes skin and can soothe insect bites or minor rashes. Got a musty smell in your shelter? Sprinkle it on fabrics or floors. It absorbs odors without chemicals or electricity. Third, cooking. Without it, your biscuits won't rise, your beans will stay bitter, and your hard-boiled eggs might crack. But more than that, baking soda can help tenderize tough cuts of meat when fuel is scarce, making every calorie count. And here's a lesser-known trick. It extends the life of stored food. Tuck an open box into your grain bins or dry storage containers, and it absorbs moisture and odors that lead to spoilage. During the Great Depression, families kept one in every flour sack for this exact reason. Unlike high-tech survival kits that break or expire, baking soda lasts for years if kept dry. It doesn't need charging, decoding, or assembly. It's non-toxic, lightweight, and already in your home. In a world stripped of convenience, baking soda won't save your phone, but it might just save your health, your meals, and your sanity. Item 11. Duct tape. It's sticky, it's tough, and when the grid goes down, duct tape stops being a quick fix and becomes a full-on survival tool. Forget what Hollywood says. Real preppers know this silver roll can patch, bind, seal, and improvise its way through almost any crisis. No power? No problem. Duct tape thrives in chaos. Got a leak in your rainwater tarp? Seal it in seconds. Blister on your foot from walking miles in worn-out shoes? Wrap it. Now you've got a field-expedient blister guard. Need to reinforce a broken backpack strap, secure a splint, or patch a hole in your shelter? Duct tape holds strong in rain, wind, and freezing temps. During Hurricane Maria, rescue teams reported that the most requested item after water and food wasn't medicine, it was duct tape. Why? Because people were using it to repair roofs, seal windows against wind, and even fashion temporary fixes on broken medical braces. In military field manuals, it's listed for everything from mending gear to marking trails. But here's a pro tip. Don't just leave it in the garage. Store a roll in your go bag, your car kit, and your kitchen emergency drawer. And if you really want to prep smart, wrap a few feet around an empty water bottle or flashlight so you always have a hidden stash when the main roll runs out. And yes, it even has medical uses. Securing gauze, making temporary slings, or taping down splinters until you can get proper care. It won't charge your phone or cook your dinner, but it will keep your world from falling apart, one sticky strip at a time. In a blackout where nothing works right, duct tape doesn't just fix things. It keeps you moving forward. Item 12. Hand-powered water filter. You've got food in your pantry, you've got blankets for warmth, but without clean water, none of it matters. Dehydration hits fast, within days, and waterborne diseases can kill even faster. That's why in an EMP blackout, a hand-powered water filter isn't a luxury. It's non-negotiable. Unlike electric purifiers or UV pens that die the moment the grid fails, a hand-powered filter like a Sawyer Mini or Life Straw works purely through mechanical force. You scoop water from a stream, a puddle, even a questionable puddle in your backyard, pump it through a tiny hollow fiber membrane, and out comes water safe to drink. No batteries, no curds, just clean H2O on demand. These filters remove 99.99% of bacteria and protozoa like E. coli, Giardia, and cholera down to 0.1 microns. Some models even attach to standard soda bottles, making them lightweight and easy to carry. And they last for hundreds of gallons, enough to keep you and your family alive for months. After the 2017 Puerto Rico collapse, clinics reported that the biggest spike in ER visits wasn't from injuries. It was from dysentery caused by contaminated water. Families who'd invested in simple hand filters avoided that nightmare entirely. Yes, it costs around $20, $30, but compared to the price of bottled water during a panic buy surge, or worse, hospitalization, it's the smartest $25 you'll ever spend. Keep it in your kitchen drawer. Test it once a month. Store it shielded in a foil-wrapped bag so an EMP doesn't fry any internal seals. Some models contain minor electronics for backflushing, because when the taps run dry and the stores are empty, your ability to turn muddy creek water into safe drinking water won't just be useful. It'll be the line between survival and surrender. Item 13. Paperback books. In a world that runs on Wi-Fi, cloud storage, and streaming, a paperback book might seem like a relic. But when an EMP fries every hard drive, phone, and tablet in the country, those paper pages become pure gold. No battery, no signal, no updates needed. Just knowledge, permanent, unbreakable, and always ready. Think about it. Your phone dies in a blackout. Your Kindle? Useless without a charge. Even solar chargers take time. But a paperback? Open it in total darkness with a candle, and you've got instant access to life-saving information. First aid instructions, edible plant guides, how to build a fire without matches, how to purify water using sand and charcoal, all right there, in ink and paper that doesn't glitch, crash, or require a password. And it's not just survival manuals. Cookbooks teach you how to stretch a can of beans into 3 meals. Historical accounts, like accounts from the Great Depression or the Blitz, show how real people coped with long-term scarcity, rationing, and uncertainty. Even fiction matters. Stories reduce panic, keep morale up, and give children and adults a mental escape when the world feels like it's falling apart. During the 2020 lockdowns, libraries reported a quiet surge in requests for physical how-to books, especially on gardening, canning, and home repair, as people turned away from screens and toward tangible skills. In post-Soviet Ukraine, families passed down handwritten notebooks and old textbooks because digital records vanished overnight. Paperbacks are lightweight, cheap, and easy to store. Stack them under a bed, line a shelf, or tuck one into your emergency kit. Look for classics. The Boy Scout Handbook, Where There Is No Doctor, the Backyard Homestead, or even old USDA guides on food preservation. Thrift stores and library sales are full of them, often for less than $1. And unlike digital files that can be corrupted, deleted, or locked behind paywalls, a book can't be hacked. It won't stop working because of a software update. It belongs to you, forever. In the silence after an EMP, when the hum of technology is gone and the nights are long, a paperback won't just teach you how to survive. It'll remind you why, and help you hold on to your humanity, one page at a time. An EMP blackout isn't some far-off doomsday fantasy. The risk is real. The grid is fragile. And in 2025, experts from NASA to the Department of Homeland Security are warning that we're more vulnerable than ever, whether from a solar superstorm like the 1859 Carrington event or something far more deliberate. But here's the truth they won't tell you on the evening news. You don't need to be rich, extreme, or armed to survive. You just need to be ready with what you already have. Those 13 cheap household items we just covered, they're not magic. They're common sense, wrapped in foil, stored in jars, and hidden in your garage. And they could mean the difference between waiting helplessly for rescue and taking care of yourself, your family, and your community when seconds count. This isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom that comes from knowing you can handle whatever comes next. So now I need you to take action. Not tomorrow, not when things get worse, but right now. Smash that like button. Why? Because YouTube's algorithm decides whether this life-saving info reaches more people based on your click. One like could help someone else get ready before it's too late. Tell me which of these 13 items you already have, and which one shocked you the most. Have you seen weird shortages at Walmart or weird price spikes on batteries or canned goods lately? Your observation could be the early warning sign someone else needs to hear. And third, subscribe and hit the bell, because next week I'm dropping a video on 3 EMP-proof meals you can cook with zero power using only pantry staples and that cast iron skillet we talked about. If you're serious about staying fed, safe, and sane when the grid fails, you do not want it to miss it. Remember, disasters don't care how much money you make or how many followers you have. They only care if you're prepared. And now, you are. Stay sharp, stay ready, and I'll see you in the next one.